Am I racist?
I would really appreciate it if you left.
I'm trying to learn. I'm on this journey.
Can you please leave?
I'm Amy DeLaura for Washington Examiner, and we're joined by Matt Walsh, who is starring in his second original film for Daily Wire, Am I Racist? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on your journey.
Thank you for having me.
So I found this film a little difficult to get through just because I suffer from a little bit of secondhand embarrassment. A big difference between Am I Racist and What is a Woman is instead of just kind of intentionally letting people hang themselves, so to speak, you were intentionally disruptive.
I used to be a white woman, an unsuccessful one, for many decades, and it was a miserable experience. And really, the hatred of yourselves and each other is like the not seeing your power, the being afraid. Like, all you do is talk shit about each other, talk shit about yourself. Oh my God, I'm so fat.
That's all they do. I'm telling you, these white women.
But that's it. I'm so fat, I'm so stupid, I'm blah, blah, blah.
Sorry.
Your kids are watching you, and they're watching you talking about each other, you know, raging against the machine or being silent or whatever the hell it is that you're doing or not doing, and they know that you're not doing for them.
That's so important. That is so important what you just said. It's really important. That's all.
We may have to add you to our team.
Oh, I would love to take a seat and join you.
No, you're not allowed to.
Were you surprised by quite how far people allowed you to go before they bailed out or kicked you out?
To answer your last question, yes, I was surprised by that. I didn't know how. I thought probably after the first time I interrupted, they would kick me out, but they didn't. And it turns out that people are. You know, it's something about human psychology. People don't want to. They don't want to be the first person to speak up and say. So we kind of exploited that a little bit, I guess. But what's happening in that scene is that these are women who it's called Race to Dinner, and this is a long running. They've been doing this for years, where they go to dinners that are held exclusively by white women, and they sit down at the table and they explain to the white women why they're racist for 2 hours, as everybody eats their meal. And you know, of course, in the film, it's like a 5 or 6 minute scene. In real time, I was there for probably 2 hours. And so just listening to these two women, Cyber Rao and Regina Jackson, like breaking these other women down psychologically, it's a very intense kind of brainwashing almost session, kind of unlike anything I've ever witnessed in person before. It was quite disturbing, although, you know, funny in the film.
This is the first one that's been in theaters. What is a Woman? You actually streamed on X, and Elon Musk had to intervene as Twitter employees were actually trying to censor the film. Lady Ballers, you guys said that you had to basically cast yourselves because you couldn't find anyone to audition. What kind of censorship have you seen in this film, or have you struggled with in getting this film out?
Well, you always run into, you know, the fact that we're trying to make films in an industry, the film industry, the entertainment industry, that is totally hostile to us and wants nothing to do with us every step of the way. So there's always, like, you always run into that challenge just every day when you're making a movie. There's that creates challenges. But you know, once we actually have the movie out, it's been great. You know, obviously with Elon Musk owning X now, we're able to at least we have one platform where we can reliably advertise the film and get the word out. The issue now is the mainstream media, and especially mainstream film critics, who to this point, none of them have reviewed the film, which they had an excuse with What is a Woman because it was on our platform, it was behind a paywall, and they could always claim that, well, you know, that's a conservative documentary on a conservative news site, we don't review that kind of thing, which is a weak excuse, but at least they had one. Now we have a wide released film, top 5 in the box office, in theaters. It's the kind of thing that if you're a film critic, that's your job, is to watch it and give us your opinion. But to this point, not a single one has acknowledged the existence of the film, which is pretty interesting.
And talking about marketing the film, the DNC, you of course are no fan of trolling, but the DNC.
No, I don't get into that.
No, not at all.
I'm not trolling right now.
At the DNC specifically, you had the photobombing of CNN, the cards you sent out leading to the website. What necessarily inspired this specific type of guerrilla marketing for this film?
I mean, it started with just like, we've got a movie coming out and the DNC is happening at the same time. I mean, how do we not? We have to take advantage of that. It's just it's a golden opportunity that we would be who are we if we don't find some way to exploit this event to market our film, which is what we did. And I didn't think I'd last very long there before I got kicked out, and I didn't. I got kicked out once by the cops, and then we went back down to the floor, the convention floor. And I was only there for a couple minutes before people started recognizing me, and it got a little bit, they were not quite welcoming of me there. But it turned out that just me being spotted on camera, as you mentioned, by CNN, like that was enough. That's all we had to do, and that was enough also to upset the left quite a bit. They were very upset that I was there, which I thought was interesting because you should be happy that I was there being exposed to your ideas. If you're proud of them, why wouldn't you be? But they were not happy.
Yeah, well, it worked. It went viral. And then also, this is kind of a spoiler of the film, so to our 66,000 subscribers and the 90% who are not subscribed, before you click away, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe button below and ring this bell for notifications so you can be notified when new videos are uploaded and so more original Washington Examiner content can be shared. Follow the money. Quite frankly, a huge scam of DEI that you uncovered in this film. Just were you surprised by how much it cost to do some of these things that you had labeled on there each time you paid for a DEI class or to interview somebody? I mean, we're seeing universities now taking away DEI funding after protests on campus and putting it towards campus security. So this is obviously something that other people are seeing too. Yeah,
there's a lot of money in it. There's a lot of money because, when you convince people that they have some sort of guilt because of their color of their skin, and then you tell them that, hey, come to me to atone for your sins, which is basically what these DEI people say, then, if people buy into that, you kind of have them, and they're willing to pay a lot of money. And so for the purposes of making this film, we discovered that in order to get these people in the movie, we had to pay them. We didn't do that for the first movie, but this one, that's what they wanted. And so we said, all right, we'll pay whatever their price is, and then we're going to put it on the screen, and we're going to tell people what we paid because it's part of the story. So we didn't attempt to. We might have tried to bring the price down a little bit, but we didn't really. It's like we'll just pay what you want, and then everybody's going to know, because that's the story. People should see that. Because look, if you really think that racism is a big problem in America and you're out to defeat racism or whatever these people say, I know everyone's got to make a living, but you would think that, hey, if I just want to talk to you about racism, that you'd be eager to sit down and talk. You wouldn't need $15,000 to do it. But that's not the case with these DEI grifters. Well, thank you so much for coming in today and for the film. You can watch Am I Racist in select theaters around the country. For more exclusive interviews, straight news, and conservative views, head to washingtonexaminer.com.